Hi my loves, how's it going? How you guys doing? Welcome to another monthly empties. I'm so excited to film this because again I think I've smashed it, and I feel like I need to do like a bit of a disclaimer. Basically, I have a lot of products. I've been given a lot of products for free through free gift purchases. I've got a lot of stupid things like buying loads of like mystery boxes or doing loads of like subscription boxes and goodie bags and stuff like this. So I'm at the point where I want to use up everything that I have that is related to skincare, hair care, body care, and then start like entirely fresh with products that I actually want to purchase, because you know what, that's really important to me, especially this year where I'm trying to like minimize everything and like really downsize and really just take a step back from overconsumption and just be a little bit more mindful, you know. One of the first things I want to talk about is actually this fragrance, or like this home perfume from Rituals. This is the Ritual Meher, and this is actually very nice. This caught me off guard. I actually really like this scent. I also really like the Ritual Gin as well. I can definitely see myself picking this up again or picking up like other products from Rituals, but it's more like a luxury, not something I need right now, because my main priority is to actually pay off my debt. I'm trying really hard not to replace anything unless I absolutely need to, or at least until I've like completely used up everything. Then I know I don't really have a choice, but I need to buy something to replace it. This isn't something that I need to run out and replace right now, because I can easily just use one of my perfumes as like a room spray, or like even over my bed, or just anything like that. So I'm not like too worried about it, but I would have to say this was really nice, and I can definitely see myself picking up a few of these. A hair product I used up was this Color Wow Dream Coat Supernatural Spray. I have been using this since sort of last year, and this is another second one I've had of these. These were not ones that I bought myself. These are always a gifted purchase, or they were part of a goodie bag. I think they were actually part of a goodie bag that I would buy, which is essentially a free gifted purchase after you spend a certain amount of money with some retailers. So Cult Beauty does it, Look Fantastic does it, so does Sephora, which used to be Feel Good. No, Feeling Unique, I think it was. But yeah, so this is obviously not something I bought myself. This is also not product I ever see myself repurchasing. I used up the other one and I thought, oh, maybe it's just like how old that product was. It's not really doing anything for me. This was a lot newer than the other one, and again, it did nothing for me. I do think, and I have heard a lot of other people say the same thing, where this product is essentially useless. It quite literally did absolutely nothing for me. It was just an extra step of my routine that I didn't really need. And again, this was something that I had to like force myself to use. I don't really use a lot of like heat on my hair. I typically like dry my scalp with a hairdryer, but the rest of the hair I don't really bother touching, because I don't really want to do it unless I am in a rush and I kind of have to dry my hair. Only then will I really do it. But that kind of puts me in a bit of a position where I've got a bunch of these products that I need to use when I'm drying my hair, but they're not really getting used because I'm not really drying my full hair anymore. So I had to like really force myself to use this up. I use it mainly on myself, and then every couple, like a few times when I've had to dry my mom's hair, I've used it on her. And I'm so glad this is finally done. It was just taking up space in my wardrobe, and I'm just glad this is another product that is finished, is out of here, and I'm never gonna see it again. I hope to God brands do not like keep putting these as part of those gifted purchases. I'm also trying very hard to avoid buying those, and only if I see that almost everything in here, or at least 90% of products that are in the free goodie bag are products that I can see myself using, is only the only time I will do that. Otherwise, no, it's honestly not worth it. You end up with so much product that you kind of don't necessarily use, and it just kind of like sits there and gathers dust, which this product quite literally has done. So yeah, I'm just so glad this is finally finished. The hair product I actually used and liked was the Fable and Mane Cooling Scalp Mud Mask. This is now the third product from Fable and Mane I've used, and I've actually pretty enjoyed. This is quite nice. It's supposed to be a mask that you put on after shampoo, and you leave it on for like 5-10 minutes, and then you wash it off, and it just made my scalp feel kind of nice, and I liked it. Would I necessarily repurchase this? Probably not, because I don't necessarily feel like I need it as like a step in my routine. But there are definitely other products from the brand that I would buy. Like their scalp scrub was so good, as well as one of their hair serums, which I really liked. It's like I think it's like a pre-shower wash thing that you would use. But yeah, these are the two that I really liked. I mean, I've liked all the three products. I did enjoy this, but I don't think I'll necessarily repurchase this. But I do think this brand is definitely worth checking out, and I will definitely be buying more stuff from them once I use up the stuff that I already have. Another product which was literally a waste was this Amica Flash Instant Shine Mask. This is now the second one. So if you thought I'd already spoken about this in the previous empties, you're not wrong. I did, because I had two of these. This was the original one that I had, and the previous one I used up was the second one that I got. And again, these were just part of goodie bags that I don't know why the hell I would used to get so many, but such a waste of money. I really feel like this did absolutely nothing for me, because I've got, my hair is kind of like split into two almost. I've got my natural growth, and then I've got the bleached ends, and it does nothing for either one of them. So I feel like there's no point. And I feel like whenever I use this, the part of my hair that's bleached, it used to feel a little bit more drier after the shower and once my hair had dried, which I found quite frustrating. But I only really realised that towards the end of this product, because I could kind of notice it, but I wasn't really realising what it was. Realised it was this. But yeah, finally glad it's done. Would I repurchase this? No. Do I see myself ever repurchasing anything from Amica? Also, no. It's a fine product. I do like the packaging. I think it's kind of fun and cool and cute. But again, like, I have to be more specific with what I buy and what I choose to bring into my collection, only because it has to be products that actually work for me. I also used up the Pureology Hydrating Conditioner. The previous month, I think I used up the shampoo, and now I've used up the conditioner. The shampoo was a lot more of, it was more of like a baby powder sort of scent, but this is more minty. And I actually did like both of these. I thought that it was a really good product. I have used shampoos previously from Pureology, and I have enjoyed them. Would I repurchase these? Probably not just yet, because currently I don't really want to splurge where I can't necessarily splurge. But once my debt is paid off, I will be treating myself to a bunch of new products that I need. At the moment, I'm just currently using like a cheaper shampoo that I can buy from Superdrug that is also working for me right now. So yeah, but if you would like to try something a little bit more like high-end, this is quite nice. An actual shampoo I used was the Trichology one. This is the one I've been using very often, very frequently over the last, I want to say 8+ months roughly. In almost every one of my previous sort of empties, you will see either this or the conditioner of this. And this is actually a really good affordable product. It's like £4-5 because I have scalp psoriasis. At least I think that's what I have. I do need a particular types of shampoos. This also has caffeine, so I think this is helping me with the hair length or how fast my hair is growing. But I do still get a lot of breakages, which is really frustrating. And I am getting a lot of like hair loss, so I do really need to look into that and buy products that can sort of like help with the hair loss that I'm suffering with right now. But this is a really nice shampoo. It smells beautiful. I really like it. I do think my hair is getting a little bit too used to this now, so I would need to change it up and buy something else soon to try, just temporarily. For the scalp psoriasis, I have used a Nizoral shampoo and I hated it because I feel like it really dried up my scalp even more. I've also used up the Neutrogena ones, and I used the one with the tar in it. That stank so bad. I do not recommend it. But the other version of the tea gel that I used was actually quite nice. So eventually I will be bringing that into my collection, but just not right now, because I feel like I can sort of like live without it. And I have a couple of these in my backups. So there's one in my shower, and I think I've got 2 more in my backup drawer. So I'm not in any rush to go out and buy it just yet. So this glycolic acid from The Ordinary, I've had for probably 4, if not 5 years. I've had it for a very long time, and I think I've had it since it's come out, and I'm not sure how long ago that was, but I know it's been a long time. It was first just sitting around in my drawer, and then when I finally pulled it out, by the time I was about to use it on my face, people were like, it's stinging their faces, it's not okay to use on your face and not to use it. And I was like, oh shit, okay, let me not use it. And then I started seeing videos of people saying this is actually really good for discoloration. So I started using this on my underarms and behind my neck, and it did actually work. It's a bit of a slow product, but it did work really nicely. And I also stopped shaving and started waxing instead, which I think worked as well. So multiple things worked really well, but this was quite nice to use to get rid of some of that like extra just gunk, I suppose. And then towards the end, when I got to about this much product, I started to use this on my scalp, I think last month or the month before, I used up the Inklist salicylic hair pre-wash thing, and I wanted something else I could quickly use before I showered that would kind of help with like the texture of like the psoriasis or like the dry scalp that I have. This worked really nicely, and I will probably repurchase again just for that, because it works nice, and it doesn't make it as like textured or like as bumpy as it was before. So that was quite nice to see. But yeah, this product I've tried to use it on and off. I think I rolled it into project last year, and like every year I'm like, I'm gonna use it, I'm gonna use it. Last year I was like, yes, I'm gonna use it, and it was literally like there, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna use it. Barely touched it, and then this is the year where I've like really used it up, and I'm glad. But again, it's one of those products that have been in there for so long that I'm just so happy to see it's gonna go out. I use up this like Nivea Men Energy shower gel thing. It's supposed to be like a 3-in-1, so you can use it for your body, face and hair. Obviously I'm not really going to use it. I use this as like a mix with over my body, but also as a way to clean my beauty sponges, and it's worked really nice. These were like a bunch of minis that I found in my mum's drawer, so I just took them and I put them in the shower, because I was like, if they literally sit around here, they're not necessarily going to be used, and it's not really fair, and it would be better actually for them to just sit out so somebody can use it. And then I started to just take my beauty blenders with me in the shower to try to wash them, because they get really dirty, and I do need to wash them more frequently. So while I'm waiting for the conditioner, because I try to leave it in for like a couple of minutes, I thought it makes sense for while that's sort of marinating, I can actually just use up, I can wash my beauty sponges. So I started to just use this. I originally started to use my cleansing oil and it did nothing. So then I moved over to this instead, and it was actually a lot more better to use. Obviously, I feel like you can never like 100% get those beauty blenders clean. So I always get them to like a really good point, and I've used this mainly up through that way. I have one more in the shower, and I am just using that up as like a wash for my beauty blenders, and it works really well, and I'm really happy to see that. Would I repurchase this? No, because I don't really necessarily need it. And there's so many other shower gels that my family buys that I can just use there, so it's fine. The last time I did an order with Superdrug, I received a sample. This was the B by Superdrug. This is like an intense hydrating serum. I actually really like this. I feel like they have some nice products, but I don't really like use the products that much, and I don't really shop at Superdrug much either. I do prefer shopping at Boots, because their point system is so much better. But yeah, I do really like this. This is potentially something I can see myself repurchasing in the future, because it was really nice to use. Another like large product that's taken up quite a bit of space in this box is the face wash from Rituals. This is the Ritual of Namaste, and this is the Velvety Smooth Cleansing Foam. I was so confused when I first got this. I thought this was like a body wash. Turns out it's not. It's actually a face wash. So I've had this sitting in my collection for some time, thinking it's a shower gel that I'm going to use eventually. And then when I looked up, I realised it's not one. And I was like, oh, okay, I could have already used this up from my inventory and gotten rid of it. But no, it's fine. That mistake had to happen for me to sort of like pick up on that. I don't know if this was a gifted purchase when I bought stuff from the Rituals, or if this was heavily discounted and it was like a lot cheaper because I had spent so much money. I don't really remember how I got this, but I did. And this is not a bad product. Would I go ahead and repurchase this out of my way? No. If I was to receive it, I would absolutely use it because it was quite nice. But I do have my specific face washes and cleansers that I use, and I'm more likely to just buy those repeatedly, and every now and again maybe play around with a cleanser. But yeah, I'm just glad that this is actually done and it was used correctly. Another like hydrating product was from Perricone MD. This is the hyaluronic intensive hydrating serum. This is like a very small product, so this did not take long, but it was still in my collection for some time. Again, I've been just really trying to focus in on using up a lot of like the smaller stuff, because I feel like it's one, even though they're tiny, they do still take up real estate, and it's a lot easier to kind of like start seeing space in your collection by using these up. And also it really helps by getting your inventory numbers down. So it was just nice to just use these up, and it just made my numbers go down really, really quickly. And I'm glad. Would I repurchase this? Potentially, yes. I just don't know how expensive the brand is, and I have a feeling they're going to be like kind of expensive. So I'm not in any rush to sort of buy anything just yet from them. I do think it is a great product. But yeah, I'm not really in a rush to go out and buy something hydrating at the moment. with the summer coming up, my skin is going to eventually start to get more oily anyway, and I'm not necessarily going to need or want anything too hydrating, and I'm going to start using like very like lightweight moisturizers and stuff like this. Like, it's fine. It was good, but I'm glad it's done. I used up an eye cream, which was nice. This is the Eucerin Volume Filler Eye Cream. I don't think it did anything necessarily volume wise, but this is such an old eye cream. We've had, my mum used to have it in her drawer, but I was like, it's just collecting dust and you don't use eye cream. So I took it, and when I took it from her, I took 2 eye creams from her, and then I ended up getting one as part of like like a goodie bag, and then I got and then I had a few of my own ones that I was trying to use. So I ended up with a bunch of these, and I'm just glad that this is now done. This is actually quite nice. I do feel like it was still quite hydrating, and I can see myself picking up stuff from this brand and even picking this up again, because it was a nice hydrating under eye like cream. But again, I'm not in a rush to buy this. I'm not sure if my mum has any more of these. I'm currently using another one now, and I'm not really a big fan of that one because I feel like it's a little bit more drier. But yeah, I do like this. If my mum has another one, I'm definitely taking it because it was actually really nice. I finally used up this Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow PHA and BHA Pore Tightening Toner. I do love a lot of the Glow Recipe products. I think they're so good. Expensive, cute packaging, but they are really good. This was like another like fantastic product from them. This was part of a curated box from Glow Recipe, which was sold at Cult Beauty. So they'd made a box curated to sell to the public, and I thought it was really nice. I really hope they come up with another box this year, because it was really nice to see the different products and actually use them, because all the ones that I've received were all products that I really loved and I had used in the past, but still it's nice to sometimes just receive a cute little box, you know. But this is really nice. Eventually I will be purchasing products from Glow Recipe, but I'm not going to do it just yet. Again, I'm not in a rush to buy anything because I have enough stock really for some time. But during probably like Black Friday is when I will be shopping around, and I'm definitely picking up stuff from Glow Recipe, especially the collections that they release near like the holiday period towards the end of the year, because they are so nice, and it's obviously more cheaper to buy like that than to buy individual products throughout the year. So trying to be smart but trying not to. I finally used up a face mask, and it's been quite some time since I used up a face mask like these, and not one that's like a face mask that you like pull off your face or like peel off. So it was a little bit more trickier to try to use these up, but I'm glad that this is done, because I was constantly seeing it in my drawer that I keep my skincare that I'm trying to currently use up, and I was very rarely gravitating towards it, and I was like, do you know what, I've had enough. It's literally just sitting there collecting dust, and it's a small product. It's not going to take many uses. Let me just use it, and I did. I think this is now the 3rd one I've got, and it's always in these goodie bags as well. So I'm trying to stay away from those goodie bags, because you end up with so much stuff that is essentially products that are not selling. So they throw it in a goodie bag that you could get, and it seems like you're saving a lot of money, but I feel like you end up with a lot of products that you don't necessarily like or want to use. So it's a bit of a waste in that sense. But yeah, I'm glad that this is done. I've got a couple more masks that I can use and get out of my collection, which I'm really excited to do. But yeah, so glad this is finally done. I use up this Pie Fade Forward Dark Spot Serum. I really love this. This is the second one I've had. I feel like this really does make a difference to my acne pigmentation, and you can kind of really tell a difference. I unfortunately keep breaking out, and I think it's more hormonal. At least I think it is, because at some point you'd think you'd stop breaking out with acne, but no, I do believe I have PCOS. The doctors are just giving me a bit of a hard time trying to diagnose it, but it is what it is at this point. This, however, was such a good product. Like I said, this is the second one I've used up. The first one I used up I think a couple months ago, and I would highly recommend. I'm definitely gonna like check this out once I've used up what I have currently in my collection, because this is a really good product, and it actually faded my acne pigmentation quite quickly. I'm not saying all of it disappeared, but it definitely got a lot lighter compared to what it was. So yeah, I'm really happy with this product. Last all like skincare product is this CosRx Aloe Soothing Sun Cream. I've got a couple of these. I gave one to my cousin. I used one up before, and this is another one I've used now. I'm at the stage where my sunscreens are starting to get close to expiring, and I also I'm trying to make a more regular habit of me using sunscreens, especially with the summer coming up. And I feel like the best way to sort of fade away a lot of the acne pigmentation is by using sunscreen. It definitely does save your skin, and I've noticed a big difference like whenever I do use sunscreen compared to when I don't. This is not a bad product. If you use a little bit too much, it will leave a cast. The one I'm using right now is another one that if you use it a little bit too much, it will leave a cast, which is really frustrating, and it's really hard to find like a really good like sunscreen that isn't like really oily and it works really well, that doesn't leave a white cast. But this isn't too bad. Like if I'm careful with how much I use, then it's fine. Then it sits really well and it works really well underneath my makeup, but it doesn't give me the white cast. But if I use just a tad bit too much, then you can really tell, which is annoying. But I figured out how much I need. Definitely two fingers, but not completely full. So just like draw like a line on both of them, and then that's how much I use. But yeah, I do have like 2 more left. I have quite a few sunscreen. I'm really hoping that by the end of the summer I'm at a place where I need to like repurchase all of them, but let's see. My one perfume empty for the month is from Kayali, this Sweet Diamond Pink Peppermint or Pink Pepper perfume. Oh my god, this was surprisingly so good. If this is available, I'm definitely buying a full size version of this. There are so many Kayali fragrances that I've used over the last year and this year that I'm like, okay, no, I really want those. And I'm slowly trying to like reduce the collection that I have right now so I can build it up with a lot of the perfumes that I actually have from Kayali. A lot of the scents were really good, and I know I'd get a lot more use out of them. There are obviously some that I've used over like the last year that I'm gonna still repurchase that are not Kayali perfumes, but they're just so good, and I'm so glad I bought this little sample pack to try, even though the sample pack itself was quite expensive, but it was definitely worth me using the samples to then figure out all the ones that I'm going to repurchase. So far, I think there's only one Kayali one that I don't like, and that was the apple one. That just smelled like public bathrooms to me, but everything else I use, I'm like, yes, I'm going to get it. And it actually smelled nice to me. You know, sometimes you can smell a perfume, it smells really good, but when you use it, it doesn't really sit well with your pH, and I felt like I didn't want to spend that much money on Kayali perfumes because they are expensive for them not to work. So I'm so glad that I use this, and it's such a beautiful scent, and I'm so excited for the end of my Nobel when I can finally purchase like new perfumes. Obviously I'm not saying that I'm going to purchase everything at once because that's really silly, but I would like to repurchase products that I've really enjoyed, and I'm kind of like, okay, now I kind of want it in my collection now. As always, makeup products are right at the end. One thing I used was lashes. I've lost the second one literally just now, but I used up a set of lashes. I'm really glad I did because these were just, they'd already been used so much to the point where you can't really clean them, and I was like, okay, it's time for them to go. And I've gotten the most use out of these that I can. These are very cheap ones that I got from the pound shop, so the quality of these were like really bad, and the band was really thick, so it was really annoying to use. I'm just glad that it's now done. Use up this mascara from Isamaya. I didn't think I was going to use it up this quickly, but I did. This did, like, towards the end, I feel like it did start to dry out, but it wasn't doing much for this eye. I lost a lot of like lashes from this eye, and they're kind of growing back now, but the way they've grown back is just down, and I need to sort of like train them. Hopefully there is a way to train them to actually just grow like curled upwards. But this is definitely interesting packaging from the brand. This was not a bad mascara. I did actually enjoy this. This is the Rubber Lash mascara. I think she's got a few for her brand. Am I going to repurchase this? No. If I'm being honest, I have my few favourites that I use all the time, but it was nice to get to use a different mascara for a while. I forgot that I've also used up this lip balm from Summer Fridays. This is the Lip Butter Balm in Vanilla Beige. I love the scents of these. The scents are so nice, and I feel like of the few lip balms I've tried over the last couple of years, this one is actually pretty hydrating for me. Like, I do feel like I can use this. I know that some people don't like this one. I've got a friend who doesn't like it, but then I've got another one who loves it. So it's either or for this brand. But I will say I do love the different scents they have, especially these like the coffee ones. They smell so good. Another product I used up was the e.l.f. Brow Lift, and it's completely empty now. I am now using up the second one that I got, but I've had these since I think 2023. maybe more than that, but I've had these for some time, and a lot of e.l.f. products, they start to expire very quickly. So I was really worried that by the time I'm getting around to using this, it might be completely like expired and time to go, but luckily it's not. And I've used this one up. I've literally pulled up the second one now, and that's what I'm using. I will eventually repurchase this because it's actually quite a nice product and I do like it. Another really similar one is a Barry M one, which I quite liked as well, which is another one that I'd end up repurchasing. Obviously the most iconic one is the Anastasia Beverly Brow Freeze, but it is an expensive product, and yeah, it's just not something that I want to buy just yet, but it is such a nice product, and I can see myself buying a few of these brow products later on. I use up this concealer. I've been using this up for a very long time, since the most part, I want to say, of 2024, to then finally using this up now, and I'm really glad. This was actually a really nice formula, but I did feel that on its own it was way too light for me to use, and because I've got dark circles, this was just looking grey on me. So instead I decided to use like some kind of like a colour correction method underneath. I was actually using a colour corrector before, but one I completely used, the other one expired, and now I'm just using like an eyeshadow stick that works as a colour corrector, and it's working and I can't complain. So yeah, I'm glad I used this up. It was a really good formula. I can see myself repurchasing this because of how lightweight it was, and but the only issue was I need to be a little bit better in the shade that I pick. Now the last product is probably the most exciting one for me because it's part of my Pan That Face palette. I actually have the update for this separately, so you'll probably see it like a few days after. If you don't want to see the spoiler, I would say look away now, but I don't really know if people are interested in that product anyway. But this is what my palette looks like now, and the reason that I threw this in here was obviously I'm still using these, but the bronzer is completely finished. So because I have an empty pan, I felt like it made sense for me to show it in here. And yeah, I'm really glad with the progress of this palette. I will eventually, this was mixed in with this, so technically it's not an empty. It was just two blushes that I mixed together and I'm currently still using. But yeah, I'm just so happy that I've like managed to use up that bronzer, because it was actually a really good bronzer, and I feel more hopeful that I can actually finish this palette by the end of the year now. Okay, that is everything for my February empties. I really hope you guys enjoyed that video. I'm just so glad to see that my numbers each month are going less from my app that I keep an eye on. I have everything inventoried in this app, and then each month at the start of the month I've got in my bullet journal like an actual tracker, so at the start of the month I can see what my new number is, and it's nice just to see that with a lot of these categories my numbers are definitely decreasing. And because I've not really bought anything new in a while, it's nice to see that it's just going down and down and down, and eventually I will get to the point where I want to be, which is completely used up everything in like my skincare section or my, I don't know, like hair care section or body care, whatever it is, and then I can just replace it with things that I actually want to use. So that is the ultimate goal, which is just to use up all of my old stock and then just repurchase things that I knew and that I actually like and that I want to use, that I actually need for my like skin or hair or whatever it is, rather than just having so much shite lying around. And it's nice to see, because in these drawers now that I have where I keep everything, where things are becoming a little bit more spacious, it's just nice to see that. And even like the back stock drawer that I have for things like skincare, body care and like hair care, like slowly they're sort of like becoming easier to like dig through or just like open itself. So it's nice to sort of like physically be able to see it, but also like through just like each month, it's like the difference that I have as well is quite nice. Hopefully that continues. And again, I'm going to be just focusing on products that I've currently used, that are currently in rotation, trying to get them used up. Anything that's a sample, like a small product that can easily be used up. So all the time you're just going to be seeing me focusing on specific things one at a time, and then that's how I kind of just like do this. But thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next week with another video.